Mr. Russell is a person who has a story so deep and so powerful that it impacts immediate change in whoever gets to hear the words that he speaks.
I started out like a lot of y'all, you know what I'm saying? A regular dude, you know what I'm saying? And what happened was, you know what I'm saying? My life ain't turned out all that good, you know what I'm saying? Cause this is what happened. I know it's Black History Month and all that, you know what I'm saying? But I got some story too. I got some story too, you know what I'm saying? And the day will tell you my story. And it ain't all that good. I got something to say, and I want you to keep it real with me. Like I'm keeping it real with
you. He's standing in front of our students as the end result of bad choices. You know, when you ask kids, what are you going to be when you grow up? What are you going to be in the future? Nobody says they're going to be a bum. But when you listen to his story, so many of our students are displaying those same behaviors that Mr. Russell's talking about.
In this world, you know what I'm saying? It's a world of opposites. You know what I'm saying? We got tall and we got short. We got fat and we got skinny. You know what I'm saying? We got people that's gonna make it and be successful, and we got people that's gonna fail.
You know, I tell kids all the time that we're all only a few choices away from having ourselves in a very negative situation. So Mr. Russell paints that clear picture for you. He paints the picture for you of where you will be if you don't go to school, where you will be if you stand on a corner, where you will be if your focus is on something other than education, because him standing in front of you shows you exactly where you'll be. And it's not the place you want to be, it's not the place where we want our kids to be, but it's the place where, unfortunate reality is, many end up.
You know what I mean? If you a little punk or something, you know what I'm saying, this gonna make you look hard. You know what I mean? And when you in the hallway or whatever, go ahead and get a little stitch with it. You know what I'm saying? You hardcore or whatever. And look, and when you on the block, right? Just go ahead and get your pose with it. You know what I'm saying? Like you some type of gorilla or something. You know what I'm saying? And yo, ain't nobody gonna mess with you. This is like a self-defense mechanism. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody gonna mess with you if you hard. You know what I'm saying?
A student looks at Mr. Russell, they see themselves. They see that everything he's saying, there is a piece of him that is a direct reflection of their life. It may not be every part, but there are bits and pieces etched into this performance that directly hit you right here.
Me and my pops, we ain't get along too good. And even now, I can't get away from him. I look just like him.
So full of fire and flair, as well as humor and pain and love and all these different characteristics are combined into this whole ball of emotions that you just have to be a part of it. So even though you're in the audience, it's kind of like you're right up there on the stage because you're living and breathing every word of what he's saying.
Let me ask y'all something. Y'all know how in them videos, right? They be having like the pit bulls or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like DMX is somebody with the big collar around their neck and all that. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? All right, look. What happens is what you do. I'm gonna ask you a question. What you do when you want to make that dog real mean? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You feel me? You bigger. You bigger and you bigger. Until it becomes real angry. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about.
A lot of times it takes us years to really get into a kid's head where they really want to begin to make the right choices. Mr. Russell spends 1 hour with a group of students and makes a direct impact.
In the United States of America, they make over 20,000 different pairs of boots. You feel me? But if your boot don't got this little tree right here, you corny.
You know, we all have to have Jordans. We all have to have our jeans hanging below our waist. We all have to have a certain kind of fitted hat on. Everything has to be name brand. Everything has to be tied and placed a specific way so we can look cool to fit into that particular fad.
Now look, the only thing, you're not gonna see me shining enough. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause a lot of y'all who's doing that, you don't even know what it means. What I'm saying? Go to jail. Go to jail when you find out real quick what it means. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You gonna look real available. You know what I'm saying? That's what that means. I don't do that. I don't do that.
If a kid doesn't know how to read, they don't want you to know that. So they're gonna say, you know what? So let me fight with Johnny, let me curse the teacher out, let me throw some books around so that I can divert that attention so that you don't have to focus on the fact that I have no idea how to read. In 2011, we can't continue to do things the same way we've done in the past. You know, we have a little over 50% of our students graduating high school, and we've been doing the same thing for years. So now it's time to do something different. It's time to step outside the box to impact students in a different way. What Mr. Russell does is that unorthodox method that we've been looking for. His technique, his performance, his in-your-face, this is what it is presentation is what makes students, what makes adults step back and say, whoa, it's really time to do something different. Because if I don't, what's standing in front of me is where I'm going to end up.
We all got names for females that let us disrespect them. You know what I'm saying? Cutie, hottie, chicken head. You know what I'm saying? Boo boo. Yo, we gonna give you a name, yo. If you let us do it.
I've had kids come up to me a year, 2, 3 years later after watching Mr. Russell, and they're in high school and graduated from high school, and they come up to me and they'll give me hugs. Hey, Mr. Rux, how you doing? And then the next question is, where's Mr. Russell at? You see Mr. Russell? You know, I remember that guy, man. Is he still a bum? Is he doing all right? What's going on with him? So the fact that, once again, it's just 1 hour, spending 1 hour with students and them still asking questions about him 2 and 3 years later. I've read letters that some of my students have written to Mr. Russell, and the emotion and the impact that is just leaping off the pages is amazing when kids are saying, Mr. Russell, you helped me to turn my life around, or Mr. Russell, I'm going to graduate from high school now. I didn't even care about school before, but I don't want to end up like you. You know, when you hear that there still requires work to do on the student's part, but the fact that they initially come to that realization that I have to do something different, once a kid gets that message, comes up with that message for themselves, that's when you know you've done your job.